The NAMI brand is home to some of the world's best electric scooters. First there was the Bernie Viper, a scooter that broke the mold and sent riders into a frenzy over its industry-leading design and performance. Then there was the Bernie 2. It borrowed all that was great about its predecessor while adding a plethora of upgrades. But there was two stumbling blocks: its price and weight. While the Bernie 2 cut back on the motor and battery power to lower the cost, it still retailed for $3,399 and weighed 100 pounds, making it unattainable for most. Cue the Klima, a model that channels everything that I loved about the Bernie 2 while costing over $1,000 less. Lighter and more nimble than its esteemed siblings, it offers exquisite ride quality, ferocious power and outstanding customization options that quite frankly embarrass many of its peers within the sub $2,500 category. Over the last few years, I've spent more than 7,730 hours testing and reviewing countless electric scooters, and it's not often that I'm left stunned, yet the NAMI Klima is one of those occasions. It brings the wow factor in spades, and so if you want to know more, join me as I take a deeper look at its design and features, share the results from my performance tests and compare it to its similarly priced competitors. With this being a NAMI scooter, you may not be too surprised to learn that the cockpit is a case study in ergonomic design. The 27-inch wide handlebars not only maximise your balance and handling, but offer ample space for the scooter's controls. In the centre of it is the large IP65 rated display, which has been updated with an anti-glare screen. From the display you can see readouts of your speed, battery life, riding mode, motor and controller temperatures, distance travelled and more. It also shows when the turn signals are in use via flashing icons, as well as the status of the rest of the lights. Below the display there's a USB port to charge your devices on the go. Possibly the display's greatest strength though is its ability to give you access to a host of P settings that you can tweak. Here you can create an entire riding mode based on your preferences. For instance, if you live in a hilly area, you may want to funnel more power to the front motor than to the one at the rear, so that the scooter pulls you up hills as opposed to pushing you up them. Or if you're a new rider that wants to get to grips with the Klima, you can cap its top speed and reduce the accelerative strength. Elsewhere, the thumb throttle, brake levers and button pads are all within easy reach, while the geometrically patterned grips are some of the most tactile that I've tested. Then there's the frame. While it's lighter and more compact than its big bro, it doesn't mean it's a waif. It's constructed from the same aviation grade aluminium, with every component custom made to ensure there are no vulnerabilities. An IP55 water resistance rating further bolsters the Klima's durability in the event of rain. The stem, meanwhile, is sturdy and wobble free. Standing at a high 42 inches from the deck to the handlebars, it's great for tall riders, not to mention the additional stability that it affords. There are also smaller details that further aid its status as a robust and reliable scooter, including the plug and play connectors that make servicing your scooter a doddle, the conveniently positioned charge port that's protected by a spring-loaded cap, and the fact that you get a fast charger included when you buy the scooter. But the Klima isn't just a rugged specimen. With its blend of angular lines, industrial trimmings and edgy matte black finish, this is a scooter that would have pride of place in the Batcave. Next up we have the deck. It measures 19 by 9.25 inches, meaning there's ample space for big feet, while its grippy coating is like a magnet for the soles of your shoes. Should you need more room, the kick plate adds a further 6 inches. Where the Klima shines, however, is in the geometry of its frame and deck. Thanks to the position of the deck, which sits back a little bit from the handlebars, you're able to adopt a riding stance that feels natural as opposed to being cramped up close against the cockpit. Another area of its design that promises good handling is the traction-loving tyres. Not only are they a worthy accomplice for the show-stopping suspension, but with a moderately patterned tread, rounded front on profile and 10 by 3 inches of high quality rubber, they maintain a large and reliable contact patch at all times. Wheel spin is controlled aggressive cornering is guaranteed, and braking safely is light work. They're also tubeless, promising a cushioned ride across varying terrain. Where the Klima isn't so versatile, however, is in its portability credentials. Tipping the scales at £79, it isn't the lightest scooter, but let's not forget, it is a performance scooter at heart, and it's still considerably lighter than the £100 bulk of the Burnie 2. Its quick release folding clamp, meanwhile, is easy to use. It reminds me of the folding mechanism that I tested on the Splash Titan. There is a catch though. Unfortunately, the handlebars don't attach to the deck when folded, making it extremely difficult to lift and carry the scooter. Now, this is further hindered by the lack of grabbable space under the kick plate. While on the topic of weight, it's worth mentioning that its load-bearing capacity of 265 pounds makes it a great option for heavier riders. However, to get the best from it, you may need to make some adjustments. When testing the scooter, I weighed 190 pounds and noticed that the suspension was slightly too cushioned, even with the hydraulic damping dialed up to the firmest setting. With this in mind, I recommend tightening the springs to add preload if you weigh over 190 pounds. Completing the Klima's impressive build is a 2000 lumen headlight that's exceptionally bright. Whether you're riding down a dark road or shadowy forest trail, you can put your faith in it to safely illuminate the way ahead. Accompanying the headlight are turn signals, a brake light and a tail light, all of which are built into the two LED strips that sit above the rear wheel. Wrapped around a U-shaped metal bracket, they ensure 270-degree visibility. So that sums up what the NAMI Klima has to offer in the design and features department. Next, let's take a look at my performance report. Propelled by dual 60-volt 1000-watt motors, it has a top speed of 42 miles per hour, which is lightning quick for a 10-inch tyre performance scooter. But of course, feeling safe while riding fast is equally as important. Handling is a crucial factor that can make or break your riding experience. The good news is that thanks to the well-balanced handlebars, stem and chassis, the entire frame feels stable when riding at top speeds. But how does it compare against similarly priced scooters? Well, the Klima can be compared to 4 other models within a $500 price bracket, and there's little in it when we look at top speed alone. The leader of the pack is the Mantis King GT, which is just 1 miles per hour faster. Where there's a big difference, however, is in acceleration, and the Klima has a big advantage. So for this reason, it's the true winner in the speed stakes. Taking a closer look at its acceleration, it's viciously fast out of the blocks. In fact, it has the fastest acceleration rate that I've ever recorded. From 0 to 50 miles per hour, it took just 1.9 seconds. And although this matched the Mantis King GT, the 2.9 seconds that it took to reach 25 miles per hour leaves its rival in a cloud of dust. This is savagely fast for a scooter at any price, let alone one costing less than $2,500. Other areas where it performs admirably are in the hill climbing and range departments. Thanks to the immense amounts of torque that it produces, it's a hill-eating machine. According to manufacturer specs, it can conquer steep slopes of up to 30 degrees, though its performance will start to wane beyond 18 degrees. What does that mean for you? Well, considering that San Francisco's steepest street is 17.5 degrees, you'll have no issues scaling the inclines in your local neighborhood. Next, we have the huge 60-volt 25 amp hour battery that puts out an impressive maximum range of 50 miles under best case riding conditions, or 39 miles under my real world test. And when you do need to replenish, the fast charger facilitates a recharge time of just 6 hours. It's worth noting that the Klima is also available in a max variant with a larger 60-volt 30 amp hour LG battery. This model will give you 10 more miles, but it will set you back an extra $500. Now, measuring up the Klima's mileage credentials against the 4 rivals in its price class, it emerges in second place behind the Mantis King GT. Once again, however, the devil is in the detail. That's because when we look at each scooter's real world range as opposed to maximum range, the Klima beats the Mantis King GT by 1 mile. Thanks to its fully adjustable, one-of-a-kind hydraulic suspension system, it's also a top performer in the shock absorption department. Ever since I tested the shocks on the Bernie 2, I've been eagerly awaiting to see the same setup on a smaller performance scooter. First, we had the Mantis King GT's adjustable hydraulic damping, which took inspiration from the Bernie 2, and now we have the Klima coming in clutch with the same system that previously wowed me. For context, I rated the shock absorbing qualities of the Mantis King GT a 9 out of 10, while I rate the Klima's a 9.5 out of 10. It's like a hot knife slicing through butter. Coming from the motocross industry where shock absorption is vital, the compression and rebound rate of the KKE springs can be adjusted to be either slow, which is firm, or fast, which is soft. By twisting the red dial above each spring, you can configure the scooter to your weight and terrain. For example, you may want to make the shock stiffer while racing along roads or softer when you're traversing dirt tracks. On the other hand, if you're heavier, you'll want to make them more firm, but if you're lighter, it's best to soften them. Another highlight is the mic-dropping Logan 2-piston hydraulic brakes. Aptly supported by a regenerative braking system, you'll come to a safe stop from 15 miles per hour in just 2.1 meters. This is a level of performance that only 10% of scooters can achieve. It's worth noting though that after my first test ride, I did have a brake sensor issue. When I pulled on the left lever to brake and then released it to stop braking, the sensor didn't turn off. This meant that even though the mechanical brakes weren't engaged, the electronic system thought that they were, and then this caused the power to the motors to be cut. This could be dangerous when riding at speed since it causes the scooter to slow suddenly. The issue was intermittent. Sometimes the sensor worked correctly and other times it didn't. But look, the good news is that it can be fixed by adjusting the sensor connection, and it took me less than 1 minute to do that. So this isn't a major issue since the solution is easy, but the moral of the story is that it's important to always test the throttle and brakes before you ride. Now, with all that the Klima brings to the table, if I could use just one word to describe its ride quality, it would be majestic. There are many factors at play, and all of the components seamlessly unite to deliver an industry-leading level of comfort. But to pinpoint the key areas of its design that are the driving forces, we can look to the geometry of its frame, super smooth throttle response, high quality tires, and the sumptuous suspension system. Combined, these not only allow you to funnel the power from the speed-hungry motors with precision, but they give you the ability to ride however you like, wherever you like. It's yet another triumph for NAMI. Every scooter that NAMI has launched has represented great value for money, especially when compared to similarly priced models, but the Klima may just be their most value-busting statement yet. For all that was great about its predecessor, the Bernie 2, there's no denying that its £100 bulk and premium price tag were daunting for all but the most experienced of electric scooter enthusiasts. The Klima, however, is an altogether more welcoming proposition. It brings all the same spine-tingling power with a design that's far more practical and a price that's significantly more affordable. It's both an all-terrain beast and a road racing trailblazer. It's nimble yet tough, and it offers a wealth of customization settings that give you the ability to tweak its performance based on your preferences. Pros include it has the fastest acceleration rate ever recorded, efficient sine wave controllers that ensure a super smooth throttle response, a turbo mode that teases out an extra 12% of motor power, an easy to adjust hydraulic suspension system that scores 9.5 out of 10 on our shock absorption scale, supremely smooth ride quality, best in class handling, powerful hydraulic brakes, a comprehensive lighting rig, a simple powerful yet effective folding mechanism, it's an all-terrain beast, has off-the-charts build quality, an industry-leading interface that allows you to customize riding modes, and an IP55 water resistance rating. Cons include the handlebars don't secure to the deck when folded, and while there are turn signals at the rear, there aren't any at the front. Now, to help you find the perfect scooter, let's take some time to look at some alternatives. First up, we have the Mantis King GT, which is possibly the Klima's greatest rival. It's 5 pounds lighter, can be lifted more easily when folded, has hybrid off-road tyres, turn signals that flash at both the front and rear, and customizable deck LEDs, but it's 38% slower off the line, its shock absorption isn't quite as good, and you can't make customized riding modes. Next, we have the Mantis V2 18.2 amp variant. This is a great option if you want to save a big chunk of money thanks to its significantly cheaper price tag. It's also 14 pounds lighter and has a full set of turn signals, but you'll have to sacrifice power with a 17-mile shorter range and a 62% slower acceleration rate. You also can't make customized riding modes, its shock absorption isn't as good, and it has a less ergonomic finger throttle, plus it has a clunky folding mechanism. And for my final alternative, if you like what you've seen from the Klima but you wish it had more range, then the Max version with its 10 extra miles in higher quality LG battery will be ideal, but you'll have to cough up more cash for it. To find out more about the NAMI Klima and the alternatives, check out the links in the description. As always, if you've made it this far, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.